Scriptural Perspectives on Angelic Silence. Compiled by Televangelist H.B. Morgan. The apparent silence of angels during much of Jesus Christ's earthly life presents a profound theological reflection. Scripture suggests that this silence was neither accidental nor insignificant but aligned with God's divine purpose. 1. Christ as God incarnate. Jesus Christ was fully God and fully man. Unlike prophets or patriarchs who depended on angelic messengers, Jesus possessed direct communion with the Father. His divine nature eliminated the necessity for intermediary communication. 2. Fulfillment of prophecy. Christ's life and ministry unfolded in precise fulfillment of Old Testament prophecy. Frequent angelic announcements could have shifted attention away from Scripture and the prophetic framework guiding his mission. 3. Dependence on written revelation. Throughout his ministry, Jesus consistently referenced Scripture as the ultimate authority. This emphasis highlights his reliance on God's written word rather than new revelations delivered by angels. 4. Angelic ministry, not messaging. Although angels rarely delivered messages to Jesus, they actively ministered to him. Scripture records angelic support after his temptation in the wilderness, Matthew 4:11, and during his agony in Gethsemane, Luke 22:43. These moments reflect service and strengthening rather than proclamation. Together, these perspectives reveal that angelic silence emphasized Christ's divine identity and the fulfillment of his redemptive mission. Theological reasons for angelic silence. The limited vocal presence of angels during Jesus' earthly ministry invites deeper theological consideration. Several reasons may explain this restraint. 1. The divine sonship of Christ. As the incarnate Son of God, Jesus required no angelic intermediaries. His relationship with the Father was direct, intimate, and unbroken. 2. Preservation of prophetic order. Christ's mission unfolded according to divine prophecy. Angelic intervention at every stage might have disrupted the natural progression of events foretold in Scripture. 3. Emphasis on human engagement. Jesus came to dwell among humanity, experience human life, and communicate God's truth through personal interaction. Excessive angelic involvement could have shifted focus away from human responsibility and faith. 4. Rejection of spectacle. Jesus often resisted displays of dramatic supernatural power. Angelic appearances might have drawn attention to spectacle rather than the humility, obedience, and sacrifice central to his message. 5. Scriptural focus on human faith. The Gospels prioritize Jesus' relationships with people, underscoring faith, obedience, and transformation. Angels appear selectively at his birth, during temptation, and in Gethsemane, highlighting moments of divine significance rather than constant intervention. Angelic methods of communication in Scripture. Biblical accounts reveal that angels communicate in various ways, depending on God's purpose. Direct speech. Angels verbally deliver messages from God. Visions. Divine revelations are sometimes conveyed through visionary encounters. Dreams. Angels communicate guidance and instruction through dreams, as seen with Joseph. Physical manifestations. Angels occasionally appear in human form to interact with individuals. In Jesus' life, angels functioned primarily as servants rather than messengers, underscoring his unique divine status and authority. Biblical examples of divine intervention. Scripture consistently affirms God's active involvement in human history through divine intervention. Creation, God's direct act of forming the universe, Genesis 1. The flood, God's warning and preservation of Noah, Genesis 6:9. Abrahamic covenant, God's promise establishing a chosen lineage, Genesis 15:17. The Exodus, God's deliverance of Israel from Egyptian bondage, Exodus 1:18. The Incarnation, God's ultimate intervention through Jesus Christ, bringing salvation to humanity, John 1:114, Matthew 1:2. Additional accounts include angelic interventions with Lot, Genesis 19, Elijah, 1 Kings 19, and Daniel, Daniel 6. These moments collectively demonstrate God's sovereign engagement with humanity. Conclusion. Angelic silence during Jesus' earthly ministry was not an absence of divine activity but a purposeful alignment with God's redemptive plan. By limiting angelic proclamation, Scripture places full emphasis on Christ's divine authority, prophetic fulfillment, and mission of salvation, revealing a God who speaks most powerfully through His Son. Courtesy of Divinity Media Telecast Net World DMTN Television Network Digital Library International.